Jingle bells and holiday spirits are upon us, but that doesn't mean that we still don't like the spooky. Welcome back to yet another episode of Sippin With Sin. It is the holiday season, and we are bringing you all kinds of goodness. That's what we're doing. Bringing goodness like Santa for your ear holes. That's right. I said that right. Oh, yeah, you heard it. Welcome back to yet another episode, another week, another fun-filled episode with topics and stuff. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. So, without further ado, let's bring back our one and only Mr. Christian Kringle himself, our co-host, Christian.
Hello, everyone.
I wish your name was Christian Kringle. That would be so sweet.
I'm not going to lie. I don't wish that.
Why?
Because I can only imagine how much I would have gotten straight fucking bullied as a kid. Oh, man, that would have been crazy.
Dude, people would have been legit trying to, tell you their Christmas list and stuff, and you could have trolled them so hard. Oh, it would have been magical.
You know what, though? Kids are so dumb. And, and I don't mean that, hatefully, I promise. But, kids are so, not dumb isn't the right word. Gullible is the right word. But not a lot of people know, and especially kids, know, Kris Kringle. They don't know the name. And I mean, obviously we do, but even people that are our age, don't know who Kris Kringle is just because they were never taught it. They were never shown it. So it's really funny to see that.
So, a true story, quick backstory. Whenever I was in first or second grade, I totally told the kids in my class that I was an elf, one of Santa's elves. And they believed me for I don't know, maybe through the holiday season. And they were telling me, they're like, am I going to get this for Christmas? I was like, no. Mm-mm. I should have really milked and be like, no, you got to give me that snack pack and then we'll talk about it.
Give me that snack pack. And then
Bro, snack pack slap. Don't you dare say something bad about snack packs.
I don't have anything bad to say about snack packs. It's just you, really.
You who? What'd you say?
You would bully these poor children out of their
No, I didn't. I didn't bully nobody. I was trying to look. It was a win-win. They get what they want for Christmas. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's not my problem. And I get a snack pack. So it's a win-win.
Yes, it's a win-win, huh? All right.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into how we kick off every episode. And if you're new here, what that is we like to talk about what we've been listening to, reading, watching, or playing recently. And yeah, so I guess I will go ahead and I will start. And what I've been into is I have, over the last couple of days, started a new game that just dropped. Time of recording this actually yesterday. And it is called Evil West. It's getting pretty good reviews. And I can't lie, I saw some stuff, I was like, it looks cool. And I was lucky enough to be blessed with a code to one to give away to my community, and then the other to play on stream. And I've really been enjoying it. How I would compare it is God of War-ish combat with the brutality of the combo system and kind of how it plays and moves with the combos and the combat. That with Red Dead, because it is a Western. And then also throw The Order out there. And I was talking about it earlier, and I can't even remember what it's called. Was it The Order 18? The Order 1886. That's it. Okay. I thought it was some numbers after it. That, but I've also heard people such as Christians say they see Gears of War in it and other things. It's a lot of cool elements. It's a really freaking cool game. It's pretty dark. It's a Western with crossbows and rifles and stuff like that, and you're a cowboy running around, but you're fighting, they call them ticks and stuff like that, but it's vampires, werewolves, and all kinds of other creatures that go bump in the night. It's a third-person shooter video game developed by Flying Wild Hog and published by Focus Entertainment. And it's on all platforms. Third-person shooter, super freaking fun, super brutal. I really enjoyed it. Christian, I know you saw a little bit of the gameplay. What did you think about it?
I mean, I thought it looked really cool. The way that the game looks, I don't even mean the gameplay, just the actual look of the game. It kind of reminds me of the darker levels of of Gears of War, just the way that it's set up with the creatures and stuff.
I can see with like the
And when I
rolling
say
and
that,
stuff too.
yeah, and when I say the darker levels, I really mean like the levels that take place at night. That's what I mean. Like it has that kind of feel. It's a lot shinier than Gears of War, and you guys will see that once you look up the gameplay or check out Sin streams. But it definitely has that look to it. Now the gameplay, it does have a bit of a God of War feel to it, and I think it's just because it's a third person type game. Also, when I was looking at you stream this earlier, as of the time of this recording, like not only did it have that kind of God of War feel, it did remind me a little bit of Red Dead, but not much. Like
I mean,
I know you said
Red
it's a
Dead is just the
western.
Western part. I think just the fact that it's a Western.
Yeah, like, but I didn't, aside from the character, like, I didn't see any of that, to be honest, because I mean, I didn't watch you play the game hella long, but I did see you play like a good chunk of it, at least 30 minutes or so of the game. And obviously, I didn't see a lot of Red Dead in it, aside from what the way I would describe this to just any person who doesn't know anything about this game is imagine Aaron Black from Mortal Kombat has his own game and he just fights monsters. That's what it looks like.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
so that's kind of how it is. If I had to rate the game just by looking at you play it today, I'd probably give it like a solid 7.
Yeah, I mean it's
Since
not
C's
like
fan.
the best thing ever, but it's pretty freaking fun. I can't lie. Like I actually pleasantly surprised with it, and that's always good. Um, like I said, I was super glad the company hooked me up and blessed me with it because I'm not sure that I might have played it eventually, but not sure it would have been like a play right now. But yeah, playing that and also totally not playing World of Warcraft again a little bit. It's not sinking its claws into me. Just saying, me and the missus. But,
Wow.
what? Don't wow me. Wow is. Shh. You let me have my guilty pleasure. Wow, Christian. Don't you ruin
No,
things
I
for me.
meant I meant WoW as in World of Warcraft. WoW.
Yeah. Wow. I love wow. Don't hate.
Cool.
Don't you dare hate. So what have you been into this week? Not a lot of watching stuff for me this week, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a busy week to be honest, and it's also been kind of a sad week as well. And I'll get into that. But as far as like what I've been watching and stuff, I haven't really been watching much of anything. To be honest with you guys, I've been so busy that I've been like listening to other podcasts. Of course, I've been um, kind of listening while I'm working to things on YouTube. Like right now, I'm watching slash listening to a retrospective on a game that I grew up absolutely loving. That is just dead in the water right now, and I really hope that it comes back. And that game, so I love fighting games. For all those of you who don't know, my games of choice are RPGs, like single player RPG games, and I really really love fighting games. And growing up, fighting games were a lot easier to convince your parents to buy you because more than one person can play and stuff like that. So there was a series called Bloody Roar that I grew up
Yes.
playing, and I'm watching a retrospective on that right now, and I can't tell you like how awesome it is to watch a video about a game that I used to play, and I feel so vindicated right now because there's somebody else out there in the world who remembers Bloody Roar, who
I
played it,
remember
and
Bloody Roar.
has
I
fond
loved
memories.
it. I played the shit out of that game.
Hell yeah, dude! Like my
Who is your
favorite
main?
Bloody Roar, my main.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I think honestly, my main was probably Sheena, the leopard girl, and then I played a lot of Bukaryu because he was the ninja character, and like back then, if you were a ninja or a samurai, you were like automatically cool. So I played a lot of Bukaryu, played a lot of Sheena, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like if I had to be honest, my actual main was Jenny the Bat. She was my main.
I'm very disappointed in you right now. You're a fake werewolf fan because my main was what was his name? Hugo? Wasn't that his name?
Yeah, Hugo. Yeah, Hugo was your.
Hugo was
I see.
my
Here's the thing.
freaking
The
dude.
reason the reason why I
I
didn't
want to hear
play
it.
Hugo
I'm
a lot.
disappointing you. And then what was the lion, dude? It started with a G.
Gatto. Gatto.
Gatto. Thank you. Oh God, God, I wish
Yeah.
I could play
I
that game
played
again. I
I
would
played
100% play
the
that game on
shit.
stream.
I played the shit out of Gatto. The problem is At that time, I was not very good at fighting games at all, and Gato was a character
Well,
that
what's
you
different
you
from
had to
now?
learn.
Oh,
Wow. But Gato was one of those characters that you couldn't just pick up and use. Like you had to learn the game well. Like because he was kind of he was a brawler character, but also a grappler. So you had to like really know what you were doing to utilize him correctly. And the reason why I didn't play Yugo a lot is because my homie Warren, he played Yugo so much. That was his main. So he played him so much that it made me not want to play him because every time I played somebody else, like an actual human being, it was always against Yugo. So it made me not want to play the character because I saw him so much. So I wanted to play somebody else I didn't see all the time. And Jenny the Bat took that mantle. Like I did play Gato, I did play Sheena a lot. I tried to learn Stun because his character design was fan fucking tastic to me. But like I said, at the time, I didn't understand grappler characters, so Jenny was definitely my go to for sure. Like if I was trying to win against a person, I picked Jenny, and if I was just fucking around, then I would just pick really anybody else. So that's kind of what I did there. But I really really loved that game, and my favorite in the series was Bloody Roar Primal Fury. That's the one that came out for GameCube. And that's the one that really, really hooked me. Like I've seen a couple of the games before. I never really got to play them because they were on the original PlayStation. And at that time, it was more like Tekken and Mortal Kombat. But when I got my own game system, and I started playing, I played the hell out of Primal Fury, and then they re-released that game in Japan with a different name, and it had like one extra character that was like a shadow character for Hugo. And I forget his name, but he looks a lot like Hugo, and he's still a werewolf, but he had like bat wings, and he was a reporter. I can't remember his name right now, but they had very similar move sets, so we weren't really missing out. And then for
dude, I wish we could play it
the
now.
Xbox, it
Wish they
came
would
out
drop it.
later on the Xbox, and it was worse. Like they took out a lot of shit in the game that made it cool. And I got to say this: for those of you who haven't played this game, or even for those of you who have played it, go to YouTube after listening to this podcast, look up Bloody Roar Primal Fury opening and ending. The ending theme song for the game is still to this day one of the fucking coolest songs that I've ever listened to in a video game, and it doesn't get enough love. And the intro cinematic for the game, like it was a whole anime. It was fucking awesome, and I really wanted that to be a full
And we lost
a lot
Christian.
of time to
There he
get
is.
back to the point. To get back to the point, I spent a lot of time listening to that this week because my lady has kind of taken over. We have one TV, and I do play Gotham Knights like when she goes to bed and stuff because I'm trying to beat the story. But she has been playing a lot of Lego Harry Potter the last few days
Uh
because
oh.
that was free on PlayStation Plus. So I downloaded it for her to play, and she has been playing the shit out of Lego Harry Potter, and she's been staying up a lot later than she normally does so
You
that she
let
can
her play
play. So it's
Lego Harry
taken
Potter.
away
You leave
from
her
her.
alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally letting her play. Like, usually she goes to bed and like kind of early, and then I'll just kind of use that time to play games and do stuff with the TV and all that. But she's been playing a lot, so I'm just kind of letting her do her thing, and it's been fun.
Gotcha. Nice. All right. Well, I guess damn, I want to play Bloody Roar now. Wow, nostalgia. I wish I might still have the PlayStation disc somewhere. I lost a
Awesome if
lot
you
of
still
it in
have it.
moves, and it sucks. Because I keep games. Like I like to have the game still. So I don't know. Maybe somewhere in storage it's there. I wish I had it. God, I'd like to play it again. But I guess that's gonna take us to our first topic. Speaking of nostalgia and some sad news that I believe Christian wants to go over.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, us Power Ranger fans, we have lost yet another hero back to back, man. Like the week prior, we lost Kevin Conroy as of the time of this recording, and then just a week later, we lost Jason David Frank. And man, the Green Ranger, he was the first Green Ranger, the first White Ranger, then he became a Red Ranger. Then he was, I think, a Black Ranger. Like he's been freaking everything. in the Power Rangers
He's been
mythos.
rooted deep in the Power Rangers lore for, God, dude, I don't know how long. Years. What, 90s?
Since the 90s,
Late
man.
90s?
Yeah. Yeah, it's early 90s, really.
Oh,
Like,
really?
he's been, yeah, for about the same amount of time as Kevin Conroy has been the voice of Batman, this guy has been a Power Ranger to us all. So it's been great.
So
And
what Christian's saying
it's
is
really
essentially
sad.
in 2 weeks, our childhoods have been shit on pretty hard. Just blows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's hit a lot of people really hard. And that, like I said, that is two heroes back to back, like legends of our childhood just gone.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
I don't know that I know many people like around our age or that grew up, 90s, that were not Power Ranger fans. I
It's
love the
hard to
shit out of
imagine
them.
people who weren't. They were so heavily marketed, it was almost impossible not to be into it.
Yeah. Dude,
Um,
sucks.
but then the news came out of how he passed, and that made it even darker and sadder as well. Like, have you heard the news?
I know it was suicide, but that's all I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the listeners who are like a bit sensitive to this kind of topic, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of what happened. I just wanted to give a little warning about that
Disclaimer,
before we got
warning.
into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So definitely a trigger warning for sure. For those of you, like I said, who didn't want to hear that kind of stuff or who would be triggered by it, for sure, just skip ahead a few minutes. But I'm going to get into it here. The short of the story is Jason David Frank and his wife are going through a divorce. And the rumor is she filed for divorce because she claims that he was not faithful. And I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have sources for that. So you just take that with a grain of salt. But with that being said, they were traveling. They got a hotel and they had separate rooms. And during their time, like they got into a big heated argument. Security was called. They calmed everything down. Each person went to their own separate room. And then later on, they got into another argument, which caused Jason to retreat to his room, and he locked his wife out of his room because it was his own. She couldn't get in touch with him for several hours. She was calling, and then she ended up calling the police. And then, the police showed up to the hotel. The hotel security and management let them into the room, and they found that he had hung himself in the bathroom. So, like I said, pretty dark, very dreary. Um, you never know what people are going through. And I say this all the time just to my friends in general, but like always check on your friends. Like just saying, "Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? What's good?" Like whatever your relationship is with your friends, you guys know how you talk to each other. Just check in, man. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every week, but you definitely need to be checking on your friends, just making sure that they're mentally there for you. Just they're mentally there in general because that kind of thing is crazy. And I was wondering when the news dropped of his passing, like why it was getting so much attention. Like I knew that he, had hella fans. He's hella rooted into the convention circuit. That's how he made a lot of money. He was at pretty much every convention you could go to, especially the big ones. Always talking to people, taking pictures. I've even met him before. Um, if I'm being candid, though, the interaction that I had with JDF wasn't pleasant, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't a pleasant human being. He meant a lot to a lot of people, and myself included. Even after the interaction that I had with him, it didn't change the fact that he was still, a childhood hero of mine. So, with that being said, check on your friends, make sure they're good, make sure you're good. That's just something that I think that people don't do enough, and it's really sad to hear that another '90s legend has passed. Man, it's hurtful for sure, to say the least.
It is. He, like you said, he was in pretty much every convention. I feel like he was marketed. He was always there. He also was into mixed martial arts pretty heavy, including I believe he dabbled in UFC. Because I remember at a time I think people wanted him and CM Punk to fight, which I don't think would have went well for CM Punk. just because I feel like JDF had like he had done martial arts most of, if not all of his life. It's super sad, man.
Yeah,
I remember going to
he
the
was
movie theater.
definitely.
Do what?
I was just gonna say he definitely trained in martial arts his whole life. He was a fighter, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
like regardless of how you feel about the man personally, he could throw down. Like he could do
I
this
wouldn't
shit
mess
for
with him.
real.
Hell no.
Exactly. Like I remember he and I can't Austin St. John, the guy who played the original Red Ranger for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yep.
Both of them actually could fight, and both of them actually did practice martial arts. So it was really fun to see their rivalry on camera. And then I will say, like, I was always a big Jason fan because I thought his voice was awesome, and I thought that he was a
I
really
liked
good
Jason.
leader. Yeah, I was a huge Jason fan, and then Tommy shows up and kind of takes everything from him. His team, like a lot of people say took Kimberly, but like Jason clearly wasn't really like into Kimberly like that. He was just minding his own business. But people will like come in and say, yeah, Tommy came in with the long hair and the ponytail, bro. He took his team, he took his girl, he took his position,
Damn near
like all
took
that
over
stuff.
the world with a flute in a few days.
Yeah, seriously, seriously. And then if you guys follow the comic books, the Power Rangers comic books, he becomes like the worst villain they'd ever faced later in a different future and whatnot. So all of that was really
That
cool.
was a
Well,
cool
Jason never
storyline
framed
as a kid. I remember being hooked when the Green Ranger appeared. Just like, oh shit, it's another Power Ranger, and you're like freaking out. And he's such a badass, just beating the hell out of all of them. And the
his own
dragon,
theme
what was
song
it?
and everything.
Dragon Zord? Wasn't that his Zord?
Yeah, dude, Dragon Zord was a fucking beast because
Yeah,
if
it
you
was.
liked Godzilla,
Played
then
the
you
little
by
flute,
default like
the flute dagger, and the Dragon Zord come up. Oh, it's so sick.
he really was awesome.
Damn.
His character was super dope. And then I this is probably not everybody's opinion, and I respect that. But when he lost his power as the Green Ranger and then became the White Ranger, he was like instantly less cool to me. I just really didn't care about the White Ranger all that much. I will tell you the two things that I really did like about the White Ranger. These are the things that stood out to me. One, I love that he had a fucking dagger that talked Saba. Like I loved
Yep.
that because I thought that was so cool. It was like a sentient fucking sword that he had. That was awesome. He always gets the coolest weapons. He had the dragon dagger, which was awesome. Then he had Saba, who was sentient, and that was shit was awesome. And then later on, when they get different powers, they become like they get their ninja zords or whatever. Then he's the fucking White Falcon Ranger, and I thought that was shit was cool. He looked the same, but his Zord was now a falcon instead of a white tiger, and I thought that was awesome because he could fly now and stuff. So that was pretty slick to me. But aside from that, like the White Ranger just didn't. No Ranger could hold a candle to the Green. The Green Ranger had the best design because he was just the regular Rangers, but he had that fucking dragon shield, which was just that gold vest thing that he had. Was that shit was awesome. And then he had the two gold rings on his arms, which were cool. And his helmet's design was a little bit more angular than the other Rangers' helmets. And I thought that shit was so cool. And then when he becomes the White Ranger, they just kind of take that design and dull it way down, and then they become more elaborate with the armor piece that he has, and it just wasn't as cool to me. Like I said, I still thought it was awesome. It just wasn't the Green Ranger. And then obviously after that they do other shit, and then they become like Zeo Rangers and blah blah blah, Turbo and all that stuff. And that's around the time where I was like, man, the Rangers just don't look nearly as cool as they used to. Then you get other shit, but that's essentially the news that I wanted to get into with that before I get into the main piece of what we're going to be talking about today. So I wanted to throw it back to you, Sin, so that if you had anything else to say before we got into our next segment, now is the time.
Um, just wanted to rehash. Super sad news. Sucks. Big part of our childhood, and mental health is a real damn thing, people. So, like Christian said, check on your friends. Just, just do it. Like you never know. We see this time and time again. You get news of something happening. Just check on your friends. That even if they seem happy or seem fine, still, you never know. But yeah, God, dude, that's such memories. Power Rangers. Whenever I was a kid, the first movie they did, where he's the White Ranger. I think. Yeah, he's already the White Ranger, and that's where they do the ninja
Yeah, with
thing.
Ivan News.
Yeah, Ivan Ooze movie. Is this Power Rangers the movie, right? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude, I remember going to the theater and watching it, and I loved it. And I don't know how many times I've watched that. Um, God, it's sad. On Power Rangers thing, real quick before we transition, did you like the most recent one with I just drew a huge
With Dacre
blank.
Montgomery.
Do what?
Talking about the one that came out with Dacre Montgomery
Yes, I was
from
trying to think
Stranger
of who
Things.
played Rita. I see her face and I can't think.
Oh, damn. I know
She's
who
in a
you're
lot
talking
of
about.
stuff. She's a pretty known actress. God, I'm drawing a huge blank. Okay, anyways, I personally really liked that movie. I actually did. I wanted more.
Damn. Now that's gonna bother me.
I'm about to look it up.
Elizabeth Banks. Is that her? Is that
Elizabeth
it?
Banks. Yes, that was Rita. Goldar's a
You
little
had
weird,
Brian,
but
you had
I mean, it had some
Bryan
things that were
Cranston with
weird,
Zordon.
but all in all, I actually liked it. I don't know how you felt about it.
About the Power Rangers movie from 2017. So, I mean, I thought the movie was fine. I mean, honestly, I thought the movie was fine. If I had to rate it, I would give it like a seven.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I'm not saying it's like the best thing ever. It's like
you
a
know what,
staple, but
man?
I will
Actually,
watch it. I'll rewatch it. Like if I see it on or something. I dug it when I watched it the first time. It gave me nostalgia vibes, just remembering all the Power Ranger stuff. And I thought it was a little darker. You know, they kind of got roughed up and beat up some, and I liked it. I like to see wear and tear on my heroes, and I wanted to see them do more and kind of elaborate on it. Bryan Cranston was Zordon. I just thought of who else was in it.
right now that I'm thinking more about it, I would probably give the 2017 Power Rangers movie like a six. And the reason why I say that is because
You hate our
they
childhood,
were
that's
only
why.
the Power Rangers in the third act of the movie, and that was really annoying because even in the 90s Power Rangers film, they were the Power Rangers at the beginning, they lose their powers, and then they're the Power Rangers again in the third act at the end. But those scenes where we get them as Power Rangers is long enough for me to be okay with it. And then the journey that they have to go on, like makes me okay with it. And obviously it's nostalgia as well. But like with this new one, you get the guy who's Billy, he turns into a Power Ranger for a hot second. And it's like, oh, that's cool, and then they all become the Power Rangers, like I said in the third act. And I will say this: some things really quick about the Power Rangers 2017 movie that really didn't sit well with me. One, I didn't like how much product placement was in the film, which isn't really their fault, but there was so much Dunkin' Donuts stuff. I mean,
True.
Krispy Kreme going on in that movie, which got on my nerves.
Isn't that where
I
something
didn't like
is that Rita's after? It was in the Krispy Kreme.
after. I don't remember.
There
We'll
was
just
something
call it
there. I
the
remember they
MacGuffin.
said a Krispy Kreme, like they purposely make it known, like, hey, we're going to like it's a focal point of the story.
I don't remember what it was, to be honest,
I can't remember
but I
either.
do remember that she brought Goldar to life in the movie. But Goldar was literally just a form of melted gold that had wings, and it
That's what I
looked
was saying.
really
Goldar was
fucking
weird.
stupid.
He was weird.
I couldn't stand it. I thought it looked really dumb. It was super cheesy. It was just a reason for them to have Zords in the movie. So I really, really didn't like Goldar like at all. He wasn't cool to watch. And then I also didn't like I didn't really care for the suits all that much that they had. Like they looked super, super alien, which was awesome because they are essentially alien suits. So I thought that was cool, but they kind of had this weird like Tron, like super sleek Tron look to them that I didn't really like. It kind of looked like a bunch of the shit we were seeing in 2017 and the year prior, 2016. Like they weren't very unique. Aside from them looking alien, they didn't look unique at all. So I didn't enjoy that. But things that I did like about the movie, I will say, I liked the cast. I'm not gonna lie, I really did enjoy the cast. I thought Ludi Lin as the Black Ranger was really cool. So that was really cool seeing him being in that. I think that's the first film I saw him in actually. So it was nice seeing him. Dacre Montgomery, that was the first film I saw him in, and then I saw him in Better Watch Out like right after that. So that was cool. And now we all know him from Stranger Things. So we see him in a lot of stuff. I really like the choices that they made. I like Bryan Cranston was in the movie, even though Zordon was kind of a dick in this movie. I did like that it was Bryan Cranston, and that made a lot of sense because Bryan Cranston has a lot to do with the old school Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. For those who didn't know, and the other thing I liked about this movie, I love that Zordon was a Red Ranger at one point, and I love that another Ranger, a part of his team, was Rita. I love that she was the Green Ranger. That shit was awesome to me. I really liked that, and I really wanted to see more of that.
Didn't they
And if you
elaborate?
guys
Oh
don't,
yeah, they teased too. Speaking of Green Ranger, that there's a new student, Tommy Oliver, coming, which is the Green Ranger.
yeah, they did tease Tommy Oliver and the like a post credit scene at the end of the movie. So that was really cool too. So there were things in that movie that I really liked that I would have loved to have seen elaborate on, but I guess it just didn't make enough money or whatever, so they didn't make any more. And then the Power Rangers kept getting bought and sold around that time anyway because they got bought by Disney and all that shit. So there was a lot going on behind the scenes. I wish we would have got more because I'm sure they would have been able to flesh some shit out, but now we'll never know. So,
Yeah.
anyway, with that being said,
All right.
um,
Well,
that
just
was a
want to
fun
touch
little
on it.
thing.
Let's get to our meat and potatoes of this episode, our main topic, and I think Christian's going to take the point on this one as well. Christian's just in charge of stuff
Yeah.
this week.
So I hope you guys enjoy listening to my motherfucking voice today because you're gonna get a
And
little bit
now
more
we
of
cut it off. Now we've turned it off and we're done. We're no longer listening to Christian.
it. It was a short stint. I got my 3 seconds of fame. I enjoyed you guys having me on.
Oh
I'm just
my
kidding.
god.
But what I wanted to talk about this week, Sin, was my most, or I guess our, but mainly and we're going to talk about them, most anticipated horror movies of 2023. That is next year at the time of this recording. So, what's coming out next year that's horror based?
So
And what am I
before you
looking
say
forward?
them, off the top of your head right now, name one movie that you're super excited for, a horror movie for 2023. One movie, no
Okay.
reasoning before you get into them. One movie.
One movie that I'm super excited
Like
about,
first thing
horror
comes to
movie coming
mind.
out. First thing comes to mind is Salem's Lot.
Oh shit, that's next year?
Supposed to be.
Oh. I was gonna say the new Scream for me. But damn, Salem's Lot, I didn't realize that was next year. Ooh. Okay.
Well,
That
here's the
gave me a
thing,
little
like,
tingle. That excites me.
yeah. The first, so we'll get to Scream. It's definitely on the list. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it. Like, I'm a huge Scream fan. It's one of my top 3 favorite horror franchises of all time. I love all of the movies. I don't think that there is a shit movie in all of them. Obviously, some are better than others, but whatever. Anyway, the reason why Salem's Lot came to mind first is because that was one of the movies I was looking forward to this year, and it got pushed back.
Okay.
And I really wanted to see it, and it got pushed back for whatever the reason is. I didn't actually look it up, so I need to look it up and see what's going on behind the scenes. But I'm really, really excited to see Salem's Lot because Salem's Lot is one of the only old school like horror films and book where I think it's time for us to get an updated telling of the story instead of them just remaking the same shit over and over again. So I am ready for that. Um, I will say that some of the stuff on my list here, I'm not hella excited about. So I'll name those first because I guess they're kind of like honorable mentions. What I can say before I even get into honorable mentions, actually, let me back up. There is one movie on my list that's only on my list because I wanted to explain to you guys that it's coming out. And I wanted you to know that I'm not excited for this film. And it's probably going to be one of those movies that comes out on like Peacock or something that I end up watching just because with some wine and whatever. But there is a movie coming out based on the popular teenage game Spin the Bottle.
Oh god.
Yes, there is a Spin the Bottle horror movie coming out. It's some kids playing this game and they unknowingly unleash some kind of supernatural force that starts taking them out. So I just
Oh,
wanted you to know that that movie is legitimately a thing that they're making right now.
good gosh.
Yes. And something else that's funny, Sin, this is like legit news. I actually just saw this just a second ago. As of the time of this recording, literally just saw that this is coming out. There is going to be a Bambi horror movie coming out.
I know they were doing Winnie the Pooh. Now they're doing Bambi also.
Yep.
What are we doing?
We're just making movies, bro. Like
We're just throwing shit at the wall, hoping something sticks. Good
these
God.
movies are so incredibly cheap to make that as long as people go see it the first night it's available, they will have already made money. That's why these movies are being made, because you don't need a lot of money to make a good horror film, and studios are understanding that now because Blumhouse is a perfect example. I talk about Blumhouse every podcast, it seems like, and what they do and how they make all their money. So I don't want to like keep repeating myself for the people who listen to us and hear me saying this all the time. But in a nutshell, just bear with me. For those of you who heard me say this plenty of times, Blumhouse is famous for making a movie with like no money attached to it, and then making all the money off revenue at the end of the movie stint after it comes out in theaters, and they sell a little bit of merch, and then they make some movies on the some money off the Blu-ray sales and shit. Like they make all their money on the back end, and that's where the money is. That's why, for an example, Sony's deal with Marvel to make the Spider-Man movies. The reason why that's such a lucrative deal is because Sony makes the money in the box office. And obviously, the Spider Man films make bank because it's fucking Spider Man and everybody loves Spider Man, myself included. But where Marvel makes the money is when it comes to merchandise. So every time a little kid gets a Spider Man lunchbox or backpack or water bottle or t-shirt or toy for Christmas or sweater, hat, Marvel is making money off of all of that. And if we want to be honest, that's where all the money goes. That's where all the money is, because you can take your kid to go see Spider-Man and it's cool, but you don't want to do that multiple times because you're going to see that movie with your kid. But if you take your kid to go see that movie and spend that money the one time, and your kid likes the Spider-Man films, and you just buy them a shit ton of Spider-Man shit like merch, then you're golden, and Marvel's making hella money off of that. So that's where the money is. So that anyway, that's my hopefully quick stint on that. And I'm gonna name these movies too. These are some honorable mention movies that are coming out next year that I'm not necessarily excited about, but I'm probably gonna watch them because that's what I do. All right, you ready, Sin?
I'm ready.
First one on the list is Insidious 5. We are getting a new intro, not intro, we're getting a new stint on the Insidious films. It's supposed to be a sequel to the last, I think a sequel to the last one that we got that took place in the main story. So we are getting Insidious 5. I'm not super excited about Insidious 5, I can't lie. That's
Meh.
why it's on the bottom of the list for me. Go ahead.
Meh. I'll
Yeah,
watch it, but
exactly. That's how I feel about it.
eh.
That's exactly how I feel. I really, really, really liked Insidious 1. I thought that shit was awesome. It came out at the perfect time. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff at the time that was just like it, and it just hit the right beats for me. And it was a
Insidious will
PG-13
always
horror.
piss me off though, a little bit.
Which one?
Insidious.
Oh, why is that? Tell me.
Because I waited an entire movie to see the demon, and the bastard looked like Darth Maul, and it made me angry. And that was it. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. Turned around, and I was like, man, come on. But it was an okay movie. They're not my favorite, but I'll watch it. I'll watch the new one. Nothing I'm like counting down the days or super stoked for though.
Same. Another movie coming out that I'm not super excited for, but I'll probably see anyway, is The Nun 2.
Ooh, okay. I'll watch that.
I'll see it. I watched the first Nun, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either.
Mrs. Sin
It
doesn't
just
like
wasn't.
those. She doesn't do well with movies like that, so That'll be fun. That'll be one to
The
mess with
thing,
her.
thing for me with the Nun, like the actual Nun, not the Conjuring where the Nun shows up, but the actual movie of the supernatural entity,
Yeah.
the Nun, I just didn't really like it. It
Yeah.
wasn't very well thought out. It wasn't well acted.
It
I
was
just didn't care for the plot of the movie at all. Like I just didn't like it. It was a bunch of jump scares and dark shadowy scenes where the nun like is behind you but not, but then is behind you and then jumps out and then screams and then moves really slow and then all of a sudden she's moving like a bat out of hell. Like I just don't really enjoy jump scare heavy movies where when you know what's going to happen because the sound cuts out and then a character opens a door or a cabinet or turns around really slow and the camera angle gives away everything. Like I don't like movies like I call that popcorn horror, and I'm just not really into popcorn horror movies too much unless it's super action heavy. So like I said, the Nun 2 hopefully will have learned from the mistakes of the first one and will actually get something worth spending money on this time, and we'll see.
okay.
Another honorable mention, and the only reason why this is an honorable mention is because I don't know what it's going to look like yet. But we are getting a reboot to The Strangers. So we had The Strangers that came out a while ago. Then we had The Strangers. What was that movie called? The second one. Can't even think of what it's called right now. But we
Pray at
had two
Night.
Strangers. Pray at Night. No, was it Pray at Night?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Strangers is 2008. Strangers Pray at Night is 2018.
Okay. So yeah, the one that came out in 2018, like it wasn't necessarily good. It was a popcorn horror movie. That's exactly what it was. So you kind of took the home invasion, super slow burn, stalkery, like anxiety inducing horror film. You kind of took that and turned it into like a Jason film. Because the main guy that we see, like Sackhead or Baghead is what I think we the fans have been calling him. You kind of just made him Jason Voorhees, where he just couldn't fucking die, and he just kept coming after the family. So I thought that was cool, but not for the strangers. If it were something else, I would like it more. But with that being said, I still had fun with the movie. A lot of the characters were really dumb, but like that's kind of what you get in popcorn horror films like that. So I'm hoping to see something a little bit more akin to the first one, but we'll see what happens. So that's why that's on the uh, the honorable mention list. Then when we start getting into movies that I'm actually excited to see, like really excited to see, I'm not going to say these movies in any particular order, just so you guys know. I'm just going to name them off and we'll talk about them. But even though I'm not a huge fan of the games, my son is. He really enjoys watching people play these games. He watches gameplay on YouTube all the time. But there is a Five Nights at Freddy's movies that's coming out and is made by Blumhouse. So and they're supposed to be using like actual animatronics and like puppetry and whatnot to make this movie happen. So I do want to see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm actually excited about it. I'm ready to see the first full trailer for it. And I hope that when we get that first trailer, we get just what we need and nothing more. And I hope that it looks good. We'll see though. It could come out, the trailer could come out and it could look like total ass, and then I'll just change my mind and be like, nah, I actually don't want to see that. But as of right now, I do want to see it. I want to see more. I'm hoping that they make it, and it's got such a huge fan base that hopefully this movie will come out and do great, and they'll make more of them, and we'll just get more Five Nights at Freddy movies, and it'll be cool. So we'll see what happens. What do you think about those?
I played the game. I've played one or two of them, and they're okay. They're good for jump scares. The fact that it's animatronics and not just like CGI and stuff is good, and I'm on the fence. We'll see. I need a trailer, but I'm hoping, like you said, they don't do too much in the trailer. And I don't really know. I don't really know what the story can really be. I'm kind of curious how they do that because you don't really get a story. I don't know like how much you've seen of it. It's pretty much you're a security guard. You're in like an old Chuck E. Cheese like place, and then they come alive at night and hunt you down. And you
Yeah,
turn
I
the
mean,
camera on, and they like that's how you kind of freeze them or whatever.
yeah, I've looked into them extensively because my kid likes them. So I've like looked all into it. I know all the lore now and all the different forms of Freddy and Freddy Fazbear and all that shit. So I've done some research for sure into this.
We'll see though. I mean, hopefully it turns out good.
We'll see, man.
Yeah. I'm
I
worried
was
it'll be
waiting
like
for it.
oh shit, what was that movie Nick Cage was in?
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, which is essentially Five Nights at Freddy ish, where, and I kid you not, Nicolas Cage literally says like what, maybe 10 words the whole movie.
No, 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 no. He doesn't have any lines in
He
the
doesn't
whole
say,
movie.
he grunts and he opens a drink like a soda. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
it's his own. It's his own like special soda that he drinks on all the breaks that he takes in the movie. But he doesn't speak one word in that film.
It's crazy. So I'm a little worried it might be something like that, but we'll see. Maybe not.
It's funny, dude. We'll see what happens though. I mean, like I said before, I am excited. I hope that it's good. I hope it doesn't look like shit, but we'll see. And then aside from that, another movie that's on the list. Like I said, no particular order. Just kind of going through the list right now. Um, I do want to see. I already mentioned Salem's Lot. That's definitely on my. If I had a most anticipated, it would probably be Salem's Lot. I'm most excited about seeing what that's going to be. So if we needed the top of the list, it's Salem's Lot. Um, the next one, I gotta go on a little bit of a tangent before we talk about this one, and I apologize in advance. But you guys know from listening to the last episode of the podcast how I feel about Halloween Ends and how I feel about the people who made that film. Um, Ava Gordon Green and it doesn't matter. The crew of people who made Halloween Ends are now in charge of making the reboot that we didn't ask for to The Exorcist.
That's not this in
And
2023, is it?
yeah, it's supposed to be this coming year. Yeah,
Oh God. Okay.
exactly, exactly. And the thing we've known like horror people, like people in the horror community, like we've known about this for a little while.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: this movie could go one of two ways. Honestly, it could be pretty fucking good, and I really like it, or it could be a big pile of shit, and I don't know which one it's gonna be because if you guys think about it, the way that they're gonna do this movie is essentially the same way they did Halloween. So for Halloween 2018, they made a soft reboot to the Halloween franchise, but they left everything in for the first film, right? So they took out everything else after the first one. They did the same thing they did with like the Star Wars shit, essentially. Like it's a legacy sequel instead of it being a full on requel, right? So we got that. The same thing they did with Scream for 20, what was it, 2020, 2021?
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. So here we are. They're gonna do The Exorcist, but they've already announced that it's gonna be a trilogy. Why? Why do we need a trilogy reboot for The Exorcist? We could just make one movie. Unless they're gonna
Cha-ching.
go the route. Exactly. Exactly. It's always a trilogy, and that's the problem. They fucked us with Halloween because they lied to us and told us that they had two movies in mind for Halloween, and then the movie Halloween came out and it made so much fucking money that they decided they wanted to do a trilogy instead of two movies, but they didn't really have a plan because they put almost everything they wanted to do in those two movies. They shortened it to one film. So we got pretty much everything they needed to do with Halloween in Halloween 2018. That's why it was a good film. They wanted to harken back to all the shit we saw in the original. They wanted to bring back some scares from the original. They wanted to bring back some characters from the original. They did all of those things and then some because the movie was great. And then you get Halloween Kills, which is just a middle movie, in a trilogy. So it was unfortunate because you had this movie come out that just has Michael killing fucking everybody, and he's the Terminator, and he can't be stopped. And then he just fucking goes away for 4 years, and they don't explain it well. Then we get this new character that we've never met before, that we've never seen before, Corey Cunningham, and his life sucks. Which cool, everybody's life sucks, but why not just introduce this motherfucker in Halloween Kills? And people ask this all the time, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Everybody asking themselves why we didn't get Corey Cunningham before Halloween Ends. This is the answer. I swear to God, this is it. because they made him up for this movie. They didn't have a plan for a trilogy. They didn't know what the fuck they were going to do. They just needed to keep making money. And then when COVID happened, they had the chance to stop thinking about shit for a minute. And then, like, oh, fuck, we still got to make this movie during COVID. So they just put some shit together. And this is what we got. Halloween Ends. And that's why all of a sudden people are grasping at straws trying to put like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. They're doing that kind of thing. They're doing the Thorn kind of shit. They're doing this. They're doing that. No, the answer is this. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. They made some shit up, and this is what we got.
And
So,
at this point, we get Christian back on the tracks and back talking about Exorcist now that he's once again going off on Halloween Ends. Back-to-back episodes.
Dude, it's like, here's the thing to all the listeners. I don't think that Halloween Ends is the worst Halloween sequel that we've ever gotten. It's just one of the most disappointing.
Oh, it's super
to me personally. It's just very disappointing.
There's good parts in it. We talked about this last episode. There's good parts in it, but when you watch it after 2018 and you see how it just declines and what they do with the story and what the story could have been potentially, how you could have went in all these other different directions, you're just like, really? This is what we get? It's a letdown.
Exactly. So back on track, though. Back on track. I am excited to see The Exorcist.
I'll watch it, but especially after that fiasco, I expect this Exorcist will probably be really good and it'll make you happy if you like the original. But then after that, I expect it to be a shit show.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm getting at. I think that they'll do this first one. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be really good to watch and cool, and we'll see some new shit. We'll see some old shit that looks new and fresh. So I think that'll be really cool. But when it comes to the sequels for this, I'm not excited for those whatsoever. I actually didn't think that I was going to like any of the sequels to the original Exorcist, because the first sequel to the original Exorcist is trash, and then The Exorcist 3 is actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I don't really know why it's called The Exorcist 3. They could have just made it its own thing, but I still really enjoy that movie. So it's a good film. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I really, really, really want to see the trailer for this movie. I can't wait to see the trailer for this film, because the trailer is going to mean everything. And I will say this as well. I hope that Blumhouse has learned from their mistakes with the Halloween franchise, and they stop giving us the entire movie in the fucking trailers. Please stop doing that.
They haven't. I'll tell you now, I fully don't think they have. They don't give a damn. All they see is the dollar signs that keep rolling in doing this. They don't care.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think you're correct. With that said, I'm going to go to the next movie that's on my list here, and that is Evil Dead Rise.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if you've looked. Yeah, have you looked into that?
Briefly, but yeah, Evil Dead. As soon as you say Evil Dead, you have my full attention. I do love that franchise.
Speaking of Evil Dead, did you play the Evil Dead game that came out this year?
I have it. I have not played it yet.
Do you plan on playing it?
Is it crossplay? It is, right?
Pretty sure it's crossplay.
Yeah, I'll play it. I just want people to play with. I haven't played it though, but I do have it.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I wouldn't want to play that unless I'm playing it with other people too. But cool. So I'm excited for Evil Dead Rise. That's definitely on my most anticipated list. I know a little bit about the story, but honestly, I don't want to know much more about it than I know currently.
Bruce Campbell's back in it also, right?
I believe he's. I think he is back. No, you know what? I don't remember. I don't want to say yes because I don't know.
While you talk about, I'm gonna look that up. I feel like he is. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure the movie takes place on like a high-rise, like apartment complex or whatever, and you're fighting you're fighting them off in the high-rise apartment, and I'm super excited about that because that's actually a holdover script.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Okay.
It says, although Bruce Campbell doesn't appear in Evil Dead Rise, he has been as much of a part of the movie's production as any previous Evil Dead movie or TV show. So,
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sad that Bruce isn't in it. Bruce is getting a lot older, and those movies demand so much of you physically that I totally understand. I think that as long as he is an EP on the movie and is making some money off of it, then it's all fun. So we'll see. Like I said, as long as Bruce is making a little change off of it, we should be good. But I'm super excited, and I know the script I think is based off a spec script for Halloween, or yeah, for Halloween, because I think there was supposed to be a Halloween movie that they were thinking about making according to the book taking shape. If you've ever read that or heard about it. One of the scripts that they had for that movie was Michael chasing Laurie in a high-rise apartment later on after the events of, I think, Halloween 2. So that would have been cool to see.
What book is that? Like
And
Taking
I think
Shape?
yeah, taking shape. There's two of them. There's taking shape and then taking shape 2. And those books are based off of all the behind the scenes for all of the Halloween films leading up to the newest trilogy. I think it stops
That's
at
cool.
2018 or before.
I need to look into those. I'd like to read those. That sounds really dope.
They're fantastic. You can buy them on Amazon if you can't go out to like a local bookstore and find them, but definitely worth looking at. But it goes over all the unused scripts for every Halloween film that didn't get made. It goes over what could have happened in the movies that we did get based off of the original scripts and rewrites. It goes over all any games, books, novelizations. Like it goes over everything. It's all in there.
Hmm.
So definitely look that up. That's something to ask for Christmas for sure.
Oh yeah, nice.
Definitely on my list. And then going into um, the next movie on my list is Renfield, which is coming out April 14th. And by the way, The Exorcist that I mentioned earlier that's coming out next year, that's slated to come out October 13th, which is Friday the 13th. That's also the day that I am getting hitched. So I might go see The Exorcist after I get married. Who knows? We'll see. Um, but definitely looking at that date for sure. Evil Dead Rise is slated to come out April of next year, and Renfield is also coming out April of next year. And I don't know too much about Renfield. I do know that it's not a straight horror film; it's more of a horror comedy. And I know that Robert Kirkman wrote it. So if Robert Kirkman wrote it, I'm fucking on board. For
I
those of
didn't
you who
know
don't
that
know,
part.
Robert Kirkman
Okay,
wrote
that
one of the
makes it a
best.
little better for me. Cause isn't Nicolas Cage Dracula?
I think so. There's two like horror comedy Dracula esque movies coming out, and one of them is Nicolas Cage, and I forget the other one. So I want to say yes to your
I
question,
think it's
and I
Renfield,
believe
but I'm
that's
gonna
the
double
case.
check. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's Dracula.
definitely.
And Ben
Okay, I've
Schwartz
seen some
is
stills
Teddy
images of
Lobo.
that.
And Beast,
Who is
Nicholas
it?
Holt.
Nicholas
Holt?
Holt. Yeah,
Yeah, is
he's cool.
Renfield.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
I
I
will
didn't know
say
Robert Kirkman did
if
though, so
Robert
that's
Kirkman,
interesting.
yeah, he wrote the script. I don't think he's directing it, but I know that he wrote the script. And Robert Kirkman, for those you don't know, he did The Walking Dead. He's the person who wrote the comics and all that for The Walking Dead. So you'll have
Invincible
that.
also.
But he also wrote one of the best comics of all time, which is Invincible.
Yeah. So he's good. He's good.
Yeah,
Okay, that helps
he's
it
got my
some.
seal of approval. So I'll check it out for that. The next film we got is Scream 6, which we've briefly talked about. They're supposed to be in New York this time around. It's taking place around Halloween, so people are going to be dressed up anyway in this movie. Some people are going to be dressed up as Ghostface for Halloween because why wouldn't they be? And I'm really excited for this movie. Like I said, I like Scream is one of my all-time favorite horror franchises. I like every movie in the franchise. Like I said before in this podcast, some are better than others for sure, but I don't think they have a trash film in the franchise.
Can I make a statement?
If I had to pick my
Oh,
least favorite, it
we
would
lost
probably be
Christian. There he
three.
is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we? I'm gonna make a statement. So I know I'm
Yeah.
excited for Scream, but apparently I don't learn from my mistakes, and seeing that it's very gore heavy, I have a really weird bad feeling that this is gonna go the way of Halloween, and our second one's gonna be just a lot of mindless gore, and I'm hoping it doesn't take that same path of declining like Halloween Kills and them did. I'm worried though.
Hey, I hope the same thing. I hope that the quality stays. I hope, even though we're not getting Nev Campbell in this movie, I hope that we get more Jenna Ortega and that the story gets to move on and we get to follow these new characters that I actually did enjoy.
Yeah.
Like the twins from the last Scream film, I really liked
That was
them, and
a
I hope we
really
get
good
more of
movie.
them.
I actually really liked the last Scream film. I thought they did a fantastic job with it.
That's the thing though. Like now that this is a sequel, anybody can fucking die. And I'm really hoping that the twins live because the one girl, I forget her name right now, but she's essentially the new Randy, and we know what happened to Randy in Scream 2. So this is her Scream 2, so she could easily not be with us anymore after this film. So hopefully she lives. We'll see what happens. I'm super excited for Scream 6. I don't think that there's much more I could say other than I can't wait. Sign me the fuck up in March. I'm here. Um, the next film that I'm going to talk about briefly, because I want to move this along, is Knock at the Cabin. Now that is a M. Night Shyamalan movie, and if you've watched an M. Night Shyamalan movie, all his movies have twists to them,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that the twists are always good. So we'll see what happens. I don't know a whole lot about this movie, and I think it's going to be better for me
I know
if I keep
Batista's
it
in
that
it.
way.
That's about all I know.
Yeah, I do know Batista is like one of the main guys, so hopefully we get exactly what we're looking for out of this film. I
Honestly, I
really,
don't need a
really
lot for a
hope.
Shyamalan movie. I'll watch them just because of the twist. Just give me like they did the trailer, the basic trailer that showed what like a cabin and people in the cabin and whatever, and then we'll figure it out when it comes out. Like I don't need a lot because I like the twist. I like not whether it be a good or bad something coming up like that. So that's a watch for sure.
Same. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna watch that. Yeah, like you said. And then the last movie on my list, just because it's the
Christian's mic cut out.
I am excited for this film. I do want to see it.
You
Even
cut out, so
though
we don't know
I
what you
need to
said.
preface. Oh, sorry about that, guys. What I was saying is the last movie on the list for me doesn't mean that it's the most anticipated because these were told out of order. And I don't particularly think that this movie is going to be good. I think this movie is probably going to be garbage, but I can't fucking wait to see it. Can you guess what it is, Sin?
So I'm waiting on you to say a movie, and you haven't said it, and I don't know if you're going to say it. And I don't know the movie's name off the top of my head, but I know it has Paul from Dune in it.
It has Paul from Dune in it.
I can't think of the damn dude's name.
Timothy Chalamet?
Thank you. Okay, yes, him. It's whatever movie he's in where him and his girlfriend are cannibals. I've been waiting on you to say this movie, and you haven't, so I don't know if it's on your list or not. But I think it comes out. It may come out this year. I actually have no clue.
That's not on my list because I'm pretty sure that comes out this year.
Oh, shit. What is that movie called?
To the Bone? Everything but the Bone?
I'm trying to look. Bones and All. It does come out. Damn, it comes out 2022. Literally, I've been waiting on that movie. It comes out. Oh, shit, it's already out, actually. Whoops. Come out November 18th.
Nice. Oh, it just came out then. Nice.
Yeah. I want to see that. Mrs. has been harping about that for a while. She's pretty excited. She also... I'm still going to call him Paul from Dune. That's what I know him as. I think he's also going to be Willy Wonka, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not excited for him being Willy Wonka. I'm not going to lie.
But she's super stoked. She loved Dune, just like all of us. She's been reading the books, so she's stoked for that one. Okay, so that wasn't it. What movie are you excited for that you think is going to be Boo Boo Shoes?
The movie that I'm excited for that I think is going to be...
Are you about to make me mad?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Okay. What is it?
This movie, I'll give you another hint so you can guess it. This movie blew up on TikTok. Just the trailer.
Trailer? I don't know. My TikTok
It's
must
Megan.
What?
Megan.
Oh, I still haven't seen that. Like the trailer. I still don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that on TikTok at all.
You haven't seen the trailer for Megan yet?
The AI thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you've talked about that, but I haven't seen it. Let me...
Damn. You gotta watch
Oh,
that,
it's with a 3. Okay. Megan, horror mystery. That's right, because you and your damn doll movies. James Wan's a producer. And Jason... Oh, God. Blumhouse. Oh, Blumhouse is on it, too?
Yeah, they made it.
Okay, continue about Megan.
So I watched the trailer for Megan, like most of us. Unfortunately, you haven't seen it, Sin. But I watched the trailer for Megan, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a good movie. It looks like it's going to be kind of dumb, but I can't wait. But I will say this: I was more excited for the movie when the trailer dropped because the rating wasn't out, but now it's been officially rated as PG-13. And I think that they're rating the movie. I honestly believe, and like this isn't confirmed, this is just me with my conspiracy theories. I think that the movie got switched to being PG-13 because the movie blew up so hardcore on social media, TikTok being the main one of this. Once you see the trailer, you'll realize why it blew up so much. It's like a super big GIF and meme now, like it's ridiculous. But I think they changed it to PG-13 so that more kids could go see it who watch the trailer on TikTok, and they'll make more money that way. Because it's pretty well known that if you have a movie that's rated PG-13 that anybody can go see, you're pretty much guaranteed to make the most money you can possibly make because kids that aren't 18 or older can't go see the movie. So I think that's exactly what happened. I think they just literally are editing the movie currently to make it PG-13, or have edited the movie to make it PG-13 so that more people can go see it, so they can make the maximum amount of money. And they'll just come out with a Blu-ray that's unrated that'll have the actual gore in it that we're supposed to have.
Oh boy.
And yeah, man, that while that sucks, that's what I think is going to happen. And I'm excited to watch it because that is the definition of what I've been calling this episode, uh, a popcorn horror film, and I can't wait to just eat buttery popcorn and watch this dumbass movie. Like I can't wait.
I bet that's what it is. We'll definitely have to do an episode reviewing it because I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah, please. That'll be hilarious.
There's one I haven't watched that I'm waiting to watch with a buddy. It comes out. It's been out, but I'm super excited. I can't wait to watch it. And when I watch it, hopefully you'll have seen it. I would love for us to review it. But Smile is one that's out this year that I've heard good things about.
You know, I've heard really good things about Smile as well, and I do want to watch it. So hopefully it's good.
Yeah, hopefully soon we both can watch it. I know it's on, I think, Paramount Plus streaming right now, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Peacock. I don't know. It's on one of them streaming right now. So
I should probably look into it because it's something that I would watch for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. Is that all of your 2023 movies?
That is all of my 2023 anticipated horror films. To be honest with you, Sid,
Salem's Lot jumped up the list. I did not know it was coming out next year. That's one I definitely want to see. I've been waiting on that, so I'm super stoked for that actually.
Feel that, man, 100%. I can't wait for that to come out. I'm super excited. Like I said, if I had to number these, that would be number one on the list for me, 100%.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, thank you for doing those. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, there's your 2023 list. Some movies. There's a lot more, I'm sure, out there, but there's a nice little list for you to use to kind of plan. And a lot of them are actually in the first quarter. So we have a lot of stuff coming up soon that we can watch, which is awesome. And then there's a lot of horror games coming out, like Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space, Callisto Protocol. Sometime next year, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes out. I don't know about Killer Clown's game. But we got some horror games coming out.
I'm not sure when the Killer Clowns game is coming out, but if I had to take a guess, I would say it's going to be 2024 when that comes out.
Yeah. I bet Texas Chainsaw is mid to the last half of the year. I bet it's closer to spooky season, would be my guess. I'm not sure, though. They haven't gave a date. They've just showed some pictures and stuff and a little bit of things.
Makes sense, yeah.
But that's going to pretty much do it for this episode, and it's time. So you all know what time it is. But if you're new here, it's time to
pass the whiskey
and kick off the last call question. So grab your
whiskey
and let's get into it. And since it's a holiday season, that's right. You've had your turkey at this point. Hopefully it was delicious. If you celebrate Thanksgiving. If not, then, hopefully you had like a nice juicy cheeseburger or something, or a steak or salad or whatever you like. But it's a holiday season. And our last call question comes from the one and only on the inside. And he says, favorite Christmas movie. So I say we just do one Christmas movie because I feel like this is a segment coming up soon about Christmas stuff. And before we dive into a whole bunch of Christmas movies, Christian, I ask you, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, Sin, Sin, Sin. You have asked a great question. You've asked a great question because out of all the Christmas movies that I've seen, there is but one favorite, and that movie is Batman Returns.
I swear I thought you were about to say Die Hard. Okay. What do I know? I should have known Batman Returns. Because you will die on the hill that it's a Christmas movie since it takes place during Christmas.
It is, I'm 100%. Just like Die Hard's the same way. Die Hard is a Christmas film because it takes place on Christmas. The same could be said for Batman because here's the thing. Not only does the movie start with Christmas, it also ends with Christmas. So 100% it's a Christmas film and it is my favorite. I will watch that every single holiday season. Everyone else be damned. And even my fiance now is in agreement that it is a Christmas film. So she will be watching it with me this holiday season again. So I can't wait.
Well, I guess I'll give that one to you. For me, I'm a little more traditional, and my favorite Christmas movie that I'll watch a ton is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That movie is fantastic. Chevy Chase, I love it. The missus loves it. I don't really know what her favorite was before that. But due to me, I think I've corrupted her into that one. And I have alerts from it for my stream. I love that movie.
Awesome, man.
I was trying to think. There's a Christmas movie coming out. Because we're thinking about doing a Christmas movie challenge, kind of like we do for Halloween, but trying to watch a movie throughout December to Christmas. And there's like ones that we're very like, we like traditions. There's ones that I can only watch a certain time. Like A Christmas Story is usually Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. I'll watch that. There's a movie coming out with, I think I know his name. Hold on. Hopper. Violent Night. And I want to see it. Have you seen it? Have you seen the trailer?
Or what was the movie?
Violent Night. David Harbour is Santa.
Oh, with David Harbour.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
I want to see it. I really want to see it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to see that too, actually.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, boys and girls. If you'd like your question to be featured in Last Call, you can join the Gilded server. If you don't know what Gilded is essentially just like Discord. I'm just going to say it's pretty awesome. So join the Gilded server, free app to download, and you can join the Sinister Pack server, which is our server. If it asks for an application, just put from the podcast, gilded.gg/Sinister Pack is the URL to get there. Put from the podcast, and you'll get accepted. And there's tons of stuff in there. There's gaming chats. There is all kinds of things where you can talk about the stream or about different things. You can discuss things with like-minded people. And there's a whole section dedicated to this podcast. Indeed, that's right, for Sippin With Sin. You can talk episode chat. You can talk various topics for maybe the podcast, suggestions for the podcast. You can show us what you're drinking, what you've been sipping on, because we like to sip on stuff here at Sippin With Sin. And there's a section where you can put your last call question and have it featured on an episode of the podcast. There's also a Sinister Tales section for that segment where you can submit personal horror stories or scary stories and stuff and things that go bump in the night from the internet. You can discuss stuff with Christian like comic talk, art, music, and movies there as well. So go join the Gilded server, or you can find us on social media where you can send us a DM there. Make sure to follow and talk to us over there. You can find us at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin. And it's a great way to get in touch with us. And, of course, new episodes drop every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on Apple, Google, Overcast, Spotify, Anchor.fm, all that stuff. Pretty much everywhere podcasts are, you can get them. 8 a.m. Central Time. Rate them 5 stars. Share it. Follow it. Subscribe to it. Whatever. Show it love. It helps us a ton. Helps us move up the list. That's right. Like this. Like you're going up a ladder. So we can get more people coming in. So you can have more people to talk to. We can have more topics. And we can grace more ear holes with our lovely voices. The video version of the podcast comes out every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Central Time on my personal YouTube. YouTube.com/IamSinister. Go subscribe to it. 8 a.m. Central Time. You can see it. You can watch us and see our lovely faces and Christian's static face right over here somewhere. There you go, right there. You can see him posing like a model and hear us discussing that way. I know some people prefer the YouTube version, so check that out. and go show it some love. You can find me on my socials if you want to hit me up there or follow or show love on Twitter and Instagram at IamSinisterTV. You can find me streaming on Facebook, fb.gg/IamSinisterTV, twitch.tv/IamSinisterTV, and TikTok at IamSinisterTV. And of course, my YouTube, youtube.com/IamSinister. You can get content there too. But we shall see. Christian, where can everyone find you if they want to talk to you and tell you how beautiful you look today?
Oh, well, if you guys want to talk to me, you can currently find me over at Horrorverse Pod on all socials. That's all one word, Horrorverse Pod. I'm on there every day. I'm also on my own Instagram account, which is Vin and Ink. That's VENINDINK. And I spelled that incorrectly because I'm tired. I need some coffee in my life. That
Coffee
is
sounds fantastic. Just gonna say
VENANDINK. Vin and Ink, all one word. You guys can find me over there as well. But like I said, I'm always hanging out on the Horrorverse Pod socials on all of them. So come say hi, say what's up. We actually just released an episode yesterday, which at the time this recording was Tuesday. And that episode was my unadulterated thoughts on Halloween Ends about 10 minutes after watching the film for the first time. So if you want to hear that heated thought, come over to Horrorverse Pod and listen to it. We're available on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. We're working on being available on Apple, but, Apple's a pain. They make you go and jump through all these hoops before you can get on their stuff. So we'll be on Apple Podcasts soon. But until then, come listen to us on all the other socials. And that's where you guys can find me.
heck yeah. And that's every Tuesday. Show them some love. Tuesdays, Horrorverse Pod. Wednesdays, Sippin With Sin. I mean, what else could you want in the middle of the week to help you get through your week? There you go. But that's it for this episode. You don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. We're shutting it down for this episode until next week. Christian, send him out the door.
Thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of Sipping With Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review, smash that like button, leave your comments in the recommendation cell below. But most importantly, guys, I'm going to leave you with 3 words. You know the words. Say them with me. Don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.